In the name of God, peace be upon all the freedom-loving people of Southern Cameroon State. I have a message for you guys. We all know how the late Albert Mokon revolution started. Barrister Dr. Agbobalak is the heart of the nationalist movement. Thanks to him, we now have the Southern Cameroon State Bar Association.
And when you follow the case of the Scapo versus Cameroon, where the African Commission said that the Southern Cameroonians are a people, meaning that a people in international law, they have certain rights, they have certain characteristics which must be respected. And let's not forget that the law makes provision for the right to self-determination. Self-determination could be internal or external. It is even in our OAU charter, which was changed to AU. And internal could be a federal structure. External could be the worst case of a secession. When we fear the taboo situation, if you look at the Ethiopian constitution, there's a right to secede in the Ethiopian constitution. We are not there in this country. But when you say that we cannot have a federal structure because we are going for, I'm telling you that sitting here today, it might not be in my lifetime.
Not federal, simple.
It might not. No, excuse me.
La scission du Cameroun.
Excuse me. It might not. It might not be in my lifetime.
La scission du Cameroun, nous la refusons.
We shall get a federal structure.
Acceptez-vous la scission du Cameroun?
Because when you don't accept, the federal structure, the day you will come on the table to discuss about federalism, people will say we don't want it any longer. We have a right to self-determination. We have a right. Secession is a right in international law. Let's not, because when we taboonize the word, people are scared. No one is scared. We face it in the eyes, and we should stop to pamper people's ego in this country. It seems as if we have to tell people what they want to hear. No, let us be honest. Let us sit on the table and address issues.
Federalism is not possible at all. It's not possible. I cannot even write it down. It's not possible at all. We are beyond that now, long time. It's not possible. When anybody who is asking for federalism, really he doesn't like this Cameroon.
Either they give us a federation, which means that the Anglophone population will have their own parliament. They will have a prime minister, and the same thing will be for the Francophone population, and they will live together. We can elect our mayor, we elect our governor, and we stay together. If they don't want to give us that, then they should allow us go. Let Anglophones go their way and form their own state. Let Francophones stay in La République.
We are all resolved. Southern Cameroonians who are the owners of this land understand it. And that is why the clamor now is for nothing but independence.
The ensuing revolution has settled on one clear goal: the speedy restoration of the independence of Southern Cameroons. A demand for proof of whether or not there has ever been an act of union between Southern Cameroons and La République du Cameroun.
This is a historic day. The symbolism of going to the United Nations is to remind the population of Southern Cameroons that they who are being locked up in Boya today, who are being beaten by the dictatorship, we are going to exhaust all the peaceful methods that are available in the international community before we make sure that we reclaim our independence. Now, we want it to be known by the government of Cameroon that we have crossed the Rubicon, we have crossed the Mongo. We need to have self-government, we need to have our own leaders, we need to reclaim our British parliamentary institutions. These are the institutions that work. These are the institutions which create participatory democracy, where Americans are developing their country. So we are sending the message to Southern Cameroonians, they are not alone. They are making the supreme sacrifice, but we are also participating, and Southern Cameroons will be free.
Is there any legal instrument defining reunification between Southern Cameroons and La République?
The answer to that question must be in the negative. The answer to that is that there is no document, there is no law.
Thanks to Sir Mancho BBC, the leader of the Coffin Revolution, the Republic of Cameroon, prove your claim title over Southern Cameroon state.
History has not forgotten that Buea was the headquarters of West Cameroon. History has not forgotten that Buea was the capital of Southern Cameroons. And history has not forgotten that Buea was once the capital of German Cameroon.
Not even the 1st of January 1960, when the Republic of Cameroon had its independence, not even the 1st of October 1961, when the independence was declared. 1st January, because it is Independence Day of former French Cameroon. It couldn't have also chosen 1st of October because it is Independence Day of former British Cameroon.
What I was very impressed to see is I saw the actual hoisting of the flag. I hear about it all the time, 1999, December, hoisting of the flag, but today I saw it. That was great. This fountain of hope in reality, I hope that this is more than a hope. I'm glad it says hope and fountain. But I hope that the reality part is the part that's going to happen.
For that to take this thing to where it should be. That notwithstanding, it is never late for a liberation cause. The Eritreans proved the Ethiopians wrong. The Southern Sudanese proved Sudan wrong. And recently the Palestinians have made boldly put their name down on the golden books of sovereign nation in the United Nations against Israel. And I'm confident Southern Cameroon is not an exemption. We are honored to have, but the fact remains, distinguished Southern Cameroonians, that as of now, there is nothing in the record of the UN modifying the boundaries of the people of Cameroon to include the Southern Cameroons. There is nothing in the record of the African Union. And the reason why there is nothing is because there was no treaty of union negotiated, and therefore there was nothing to file with the UN. And therefore the lawyers for the people of Cameroon, Professor Kama and Professor Malcolm Shaw, were right in the Bakassi case to say that to modify the international boundaries, you need the will of the international community. On that we stand. On that, we rest our case.
The important thing is that the African Human Rights Commission recognized Anglophones as a people. That's a major step which anybody who loves peace should take very seriously.
That was about this reunification?
I don't know whether that question should be put to Paula here, because I have written, I have given TV interviews, radio interviews, saying that there is no document anywhere that there was reunification between the Republic of Cameroon and Southern Cameroons. There's no document. We are here in a situation, a de facto situation. So you don't talk about 50th anniversary, 51st or 20th when there is no beginning.
The commemoration.
The first question is a simple question. Over Bakassi, Mr. Biya took Nigeria to court. He won, Nigeria submitted. That is an organ of the United Nations. The Anglophones take Mr. Biya to court over their independence. They win. Biya is told to negotiate with them. He says, I will not. You cannot blow hot and cold at the same time. In law, we say you cannot approbate and reprobate. He should tell us why he thinks that a judgment can only be enforced if it is in his favor and not otherwise. So we are going to reflect on what?
They were jubilant when the International Court of Justice ruled that Bakassi belongs to Cameroon. At that point they hailed the International Court of Justice and said, yes, that is so. But the Banjul Commission is set up by a decentralized arm of the United Nations called the African Union. And they have listened to the petition of Southern Cameroonians, and I said, look, we don't want fight. Yes.
Is this struggle for independence, this has been happening?
Mission I have is to show the world that here is a country, La République du Cameroon. They have failed to obey the prescriptions of the UN Charter, which says that if a member state of the UN is joining another territory, they must reduce the terms in writing and file a copy at the Secretariat of the UN. Otherwise, that arrangement is invalid. They sued, for example, Nigeria at the International Court of Justice, saying Nigeria was occupying part of their territory, when they know for certain that there is no treaty of union between Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon to have entitled them to do so. So in the process, they misled the International Court of Justice, which believed that by saying they are Cameroon and Bakassi is located in Cameroon, therefore La République had title over Bakassi. That was a fraudulent act. Well, as I say, there are two different entities, Southern Cameroons and La République du Cameroon. They never joined, so that they are still apart. If La République du Cameroon wishes to go on to elections, I can only wish them good luck. But if they want to participate, including the territory of Southern Cameroons, they first must obey the international decision of the African Union, saying go into constructive dialogue, resolve the constitutional problem with Southern Cameroon first.
I asked you that question because you mentioned in the course of this interview that you wanted the president to come from two sides of the country. That is to say, this year,
yes,
the president from here, the other year.
It's not me saying, it is stipulated in UN Resolution 1541, passed on 15th of December. In taking the matter to the International Court of Justice was a fraudulent act, because there is no treaty of union between the area in which Bakassi is located and La République du Cameroon. La République du Cameroon traditionally did not have a boundary with Nigeria. So Southern Cameroon is under siege. And
that is to say?
That is to say, the army, the police, and the administrative authorities are an imposition on poor Southern Cameroonians. They don't even have a police force of their own, you know. And therefore that whoever is colonizing is just like the time when we were colonized by imperial powers. You were not free to do as you, because they will take policemen and gendarmes, people looking like you, to arrest you and beat you up, although they were black people like you. There has been no union between Southern Cameroon and La République du Cameroon as required under international law. This is what is happening now. That La République du Cameroon is colonizing Southern Cameroon. The way forward is that for the first time in the history of this struggle, the matter of the complaints of Southern Cameroons have entered the United Nations Club. You know, the United Nations, headquartered in New York, has created regional unions. You have, for example, the European Union, which takes up issues concerning Europe. You have the African Union, which considers matters pertaining to Africa. And all sovereign states in Africa belong to the African Union. They even have a constitution. Article 4B of that constitution stipulates that because of the haphazard manner in which Africa was shared by imperial powers, each sovereign African state should respect the boundaries handed to it at independence. So, if La République is headstrong and refuses to dialogue, to the extent to which this recommendation of the African Commission has been endorsed by the summit of the heads of state and governments of the African Union, which is a decentralized arm of the United Nations, we will go to the African Union and say, look, we were never part of La République du Cameroun when they got their independence. The African Commission has recommended that we dialogue with them to address constitutional issues, one of which is our status in any sort of federation that they claim to have. They are not coming. To the extent to which we were entitled in our own right to sovereign independence, we want to exercise that right, and we request you as a decentralized arm of the United Nations to take our petition to the appropriate organ, perhaps the Security Council, and say that these people want their independence and we want it.
So that's your next plan of action?
Yes, that is it. So I don't
How much time are you giving La République? I mean, there should be a deadline. If they stay for long, they can stay for 50 years.
Yes.
You keep on waiting for 50 years?
No.
How much patience do you have?
No, actually, if the parties were to take my advice, I would say the time is now. This is the time after 1 year since the decision was passed by an international tribunal and La République has not reacted. I said this is the time to apply through the African Union to table our matter before the United Nations for the sovereign independence of Southern Cameroon. All right track now that their matter has entered the UN circle. And having entered the UN circle, there is no need for warfare, is to pursue it logically. And I am confident in my own mind that the way things are going, Southern Cameroon will be free.
The movement for the restoration of the independence of Southern Cameroon state continues to grow. Our focus now is statehood restoration. Long live the liberation struggle. Long live our motherland, Southern Cameroon state. Thank you.